What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rex Righteous, and I'm back with another Flashpoint. Alright, so this video is going to be about Jacobs talking about how he sees weakness in Canelo's game. You guys know that I always do the pre-evaluation breakdowns for the fights right before the fight, so usually a week out or a week and a half. And I'm willing to talk a little bit about it because it's getting closer and there's obviously no bigger fight than that. And I love the middleweight and welterweight division. Love it. Anything under it, I usually love it a lot. I also want to talk a little bit about light heavyweight, but that's for another video. So here are some quotes from Jacobs. He was interviewed by someone from Boxing News 24, if I'm not mistaken. Let's give the guy a shout out. Let's see. Oh, I don't see anything here, but I would like to give the guy a shout out. So anyway, whoever this person is that interviewed Jacobs, shout out to you. Anyway, here's the quote. What I know is that I have the physical advantages, and I look forward to using my physical advantages, my reach, my height, my range, and being that I also have speed, power, ring IQ as well. That's what I feel like I'm going to make. Is going to make me victorious. Then the writer gives his input. Here's some more quotes. I think ultimately what I took from the fight is how uneducated Canelo's footwork are. He's a great fighter as far as offensive, coming forward as much as punches and bunches, and especially his body punches. But a moving target, he really has a hard time with. Looking to exploit some of those things come fight night as well. I agree with that. Here's another quote. Canelo, as recent for this fight build-up, he was posting social media videos of him hitting the bag, and I'm all different type of boxing training, and people are like, oh wow, he's in stellar shape, he's going to be a monster come fight night. But I was simply looking at his knees and how he's been having trouble with his knees and trouble with issues as far as guys being athletes, pure athletes inside the ring. So I'm looking to exploit some of those things. It's inevitable to overlook some of his flaws. So I think that's interesting. It's a good look. And for my team, we've created not only a plan A, plan B, and plan C, but a few game plans to exploit Canelo's weaknesses. So I find those things interesting. I think it's good for boxers to have plan A, plan B, plan C. But I think that Jacobs should be using movement and power. All the accuracy he wants, all the jabbing and whatnot to keep Canelo. He could do that as much as he wants, but my opinion, I think Jacobs should be using speed, just with his body, just to move around, just to make Canelo kind of crazy and get out of his element. But not speed and punches, just speed and movement, just always being elusive. I think that should be his game plan, and I think if he uses punches like using like little like pop shots, like in certain moments where Canelo's trying to engage with him, try to rough him up and then get out. Because before Canelo fighting Triple G, he was always getting a lot of crap for his stamina. That's probably still there. Just because he fought Triple G and he lasted 12 rounds doesn't mean that he doesn't have stamina problems. Look at the first fight. Look at the first fight with Triple G. After that fight, what did Canelo do? He dropped to the floor like if he was tired as hell. He has a lot of power, and I think that him being at 60 is all he's about. He started at 47 when he was really young. Moved up to 54 as soon as he could. Now he's at 60, but he's not as tall as Jacobs. He's not as... I wouldn't say bigger, because I think Canelo's the bigger puncher. And he has more knockouts and stuff like that. So, you know, he's the bigger puncher. So, if you want to prove to Canelo that you can be a bigger puncher, then use movement, use power. That's it. Don't overwhelm with jabs and whatnot. Don't try to engage too much, because I think Canelo's getting really good at bringing you to the middle of the ring. So, you know, I think Jacobs is a good opponent for him, and I think he has a lot of opportunity, but I think he can also blow it if he tries to act like he's the bigger man completely. He's not completely the bigger man. I think it's more 60-40 for Canelo, because I think Canelo's going to fight a little bit like Triple G in this fight. I think he's going to look for some engagements, some back and forth. I think that Jacobs is going to have to move or try to fight on the inside, but I still don't think that could work either. So I would assume that a little bit of the inside, more of the outside, and then power punches. I like the idea of him pointing out his knees. That's a good look. Obviously, for an opponent, you want to see their weaknesses, want to see what's their problems, what they have issues with. But Canelo's a good fighter. He's still a good fighter, and he's still very much young. And that's why I favor Canelo. Right now, I favor Canelo because he's younger. He just fought Triple G not too long ago. He's gained a lot of experience. He's on his high horse. He's got a lot of money from the contracts and whatnot. His face is all over these banners, all over social media. So he's selling the fight. So I think Jacobs needs to come in as humble as possible. Work as best as possible around Canelo's movement, and just try to pop shot him. Just try to hit him really hard. I'm not, I know it sounds funny because I'm a fan and I'm just an observer and whatnot, but I'm comparing a shot like Sergio Martinez did to this one dude that was a well-known fighter as well. Let me see, I forgot his name. Paul Williams, there you go. Sorry, I couldn't go off the head right there, but I just haven't seen Paul Williams in a while. I haven't thought about that fight, but I've mentioned it before in Twitter. And yeah, that's how I think he should get him. He needs to get him off guard, just rock him, knock him out, because Canelo's a tough customer. And I wouldn't play those games with Vegas judges, refs, and all that stuff. You don't want to play those games. Go in there, all about your business, and if you hit him hard, you swing hard. You never know. You might drop him, or you might hurt him. You know, you might change the aspect of the whole going back and forth thing. You don't want to do that. Obviously, Triple G did that. And Jacobs did that with Triple G, and look how it turned out for him. Even though I thought Triple G won the fight, I know that Jacobs isn't happy that he lost the fight to Triple G, and it was so close. So, you know, if he doesn't want that again, he's going to have to really, really study Canelo's height and measurement and all that stuff, because he's a tricky fighter, and he's a really good fighter. So, that's all I have. I'm going to be uploading another video on the light heavyweight division. Stay in tune, folks. Let's try to keep boxing alive. Peace.
So it's burning me left, a shepherd to the sheep, a paternity test. We show that I'm your father, boy, learn some respect. You feel that? That's my foot on your motherfucking chest. I swear I wrote the book on how to come for your neck. Pull your card, your numbers up, crumble your deck. What's a lion to a dinosaur? Call me me Righteous Rex.